Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to negotiate on this video today, but I'm just going to give you some additional information about Nicolas Pepe. Also going to give you some additional information about Ligt. So reportedly now both players could snub transfers to Manchester United this summer and make the move to Liverpool of course. So we will start with Nicolas Pepe. So Nicolas Pepe, it's very imminent that he's going to be leaving Lille this summer. He has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation, and quite a lot of teams have inquired about his services. Obviously, it got confirmed a couple of weeks back that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille, and obviously, the Lille chairman had currently confirmed this. But obviously, it still remains uncertain where Nicolas Pepe will be applying his trade next season. So we do know Manchester United are interested in him. Also, Liverpool are interested in him. Also, Bayern Munich are interested in him, and I think Arsenal have been linked with him in the past couple of months. But now reportedly Liverpool could be in the ascendancy of getting the player's signature. According to Duncan Castles, who is a journalist, he's basically said that Liverpool have made initial contact with Lille, and Liverpool have also made initial contact with Nicolas Pepe's agent over getting a deal finalised. I think reportedly he's rated at around £70 million is Nicolas Pepe, so this is what Lille would demand for him, and I think Liverpool are preparing to offer around £70 million for his services. But I'd love Manchester United to get him because obviously he's the type of player that Manchester United do need. He's the obvious candidate for the right wing, because obviously Nicolas Pepe is primarily a winner, but really good player. Scores goals, good at creating chances, can also provide. He's got an immense talent, and he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Only 24 years of age. I think Nicolas Pepe just turned 24 years of age, if I'm going to be quite honest with you, and he's had a good couple of seasons with Lille, and I do believe he would replicate this form in the Premier League, and I do believe he's got all the attributes to succeed in the Premier League, and I do believe the Premier League would be the next step for him, and obviously it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. So reportedly now Liverpool could be in the ascendancy. There were reports coming out yesterday saying that allegedly his preferred destination is Bayern Munich. Obviously Bayern Munich are looking to get some young players in their squad. Obviously Bayern Munich have got a host of aging up players, and obviously Bayern Munich want a replacement for Arjen Robben. They also want a replacement for Frank Ribery, and this is why they've inquired about Nicolas Pepe. I think initially Bayern Munich were in for Leroy Sané from Manchester City at one point, but now they've got Nicolas Pepe on their agenda. So quite a lot of teams have been in there for him. Obviously Nicolas Pepe so far has spent the entirety of his career in France, so obviously he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. But obviously Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. Obviously Liverpool can offer him Champions League football, so maybe Liverpool are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for the player. But I do really like Nicolas Pepe indeed. I think he definitely exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, and he's that type of player that Manchester United, of course, do need. He also would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. So that is the latest news on that. And I think it came out, was it last month, from Duncan Castles, and he basically said as well Manchester United and Liverpool have made initial contact with Lille, and it did say Manchester United and Liverpool are interested in signing Nicolas Pepe, but he has been he was the revelation for Lille last season. Like I said, he scored 22 goals and provided 11 assists, so very good standout player indeed. Give you the latest news about Ligt. Reportedly, he could join Liverpool. I think if Liverpool have got any chances of getting Ligt, they probably would have to make him their highest paid player at their club. Obviously, I think from Ligt's agent Raiola, I think from his perspective, I think he wants his client to make the move to Liverpool, because obviously Liverpool have been in there, for Ligt. I think the main factor reason why Liverpool are interesting, because obviously Liverpool have got Virgil van Dijk, and I think Liverpool would be keen on bringing Ligt to their club and putting him in at the back, putting him at the back alongside Virgil van Dijk and all that. And obviously they're both Dutch, they're both playing the Netherlands national team and all that. So I think this is the main factor reason why Liverpool have expressed their interest in Ligt. But I don't think Ligt yet has made a decision on his future. I think he's set to make a decision on his future sometime next week. Even though it did reportedly say earlier on this week he was set to inform Manchester United about a decision on his future in the coming days. So he's not yet made a decision. According to recent reports, I think his likely destinations are Barcelona and PSG. I think they are the two teams that are considered to be the favourites to get the player's signature. But we do know initially anyway that Barcelona have been in the ascendancy in the last couple of months at least. Even though reports came out the other week saying that talks had stalled, between Matthijs de Ligt and Barcelona. Obviously reflecting on the financial demands, because obviously Barcelona were not willing to meet what de Ligt was demanding. They were not willing to meet what his agent Raiola was demanding. So basically they were struggling to come to an agreement on the terms and all that. But so many teams have inquired about Matthijs de Ligt's services. It does say Manchester United are still in there, but I think Manchester United are set to miss out on Matthijs de Ligt. And I think the main reason why we're set to miss out on him, because obviously we're not in a Champions League football for next season, and I think Matthijs de Ligt from his own perspective wants to join a club that have got a Champions League football. So I still think Matthijs de Ligt's first choice preference is definitely Barcelona. Like I said, I think recently, Bayern Munich have been in there for him, but I think now they've opted him out of the race. Obviously, Juventus have also, been in there for him. But in terms of the transfer fees, Matthijs de Ligt's going to cost you from between, 70 to 75 million pounds, because that's what he's initially rated at. But it did initially say that Manchester United have offered him a contract, worth up to £350,000 a week. Obviously, this equates to almost £17 million a year. But I think it came out from the Manchester Evening News, was it yesterday, saying that we've probably, got to make an offer for de Ligt that cannot be currently refused if we've got any chances of getting the pursuit of the player. And I do really like him indeed. He's a central defender. He's only a very, very young, 19 years of age. Obviously, still got a hell of a lot of development in him. And I do believe if he comes to the Premier League, it will take his footballing career to the next level. And obviously, we need a central defender, like I currently said. I think we need two central defenders, should I say. We haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic and since we had the likes of Ferdinand, of course, because we have got issues defensively, and that was proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League and all that. And I said Smalling and Jones are no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. They have been two long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years. They have demonstrated, the years they have been here, that they can play well, and that they can play well, and that they can hold the lines and all that. But like I said, too inconsistent now, plus aging up, and we shouldn't have given them a new long-term contracts. Comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling's much better, but I just don't think they should be at Manchester United next season. And of course, we've got Eric Bailly as well, but Eric Bailly has initially lost his place in the team. And I think Eric Bailly's career has been badly affected at Manchester United, based on his injuries and all that he's sustained. Obviously, his fallout under managers, so that's had a bad effect on Eric Bailly's career. So I think we need to get rid of Eric Bailly. I don't think we'll sell Eric Bailly this summer. I think Arsenal were interested in before, and I think if we are looking to sell Eric Bailly, we'll be looking to recoup the initial £30 million that we did pay for him from Villarreal 3 years ago. So yeah, we do need two central defenders, and I think Matthijs de Ligt, would be the right solution for us. But I think we are now set to miss out on him. Obviously, so far spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, he's become an integral part of Ajax's squad. I think he's had about 3 years in their senior squad now, made about 117 senior appearances. Obviously, won the Golden Boy Award last year. But obviously, enjoyed a very good season last season with Ajax, winning the Eredivisie title, winning the domestic double, of course, progressing to the Champions League semi-final. So it's looking very imminent that Matthijs de Ligt's going to be leaving, but it still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate, Frankie de Jong. Obviously, Barcelona got him for around £65 million. So maybe from Matthijs de Ligt's perspective, he wants to reunite with his current team. So I still believe his first choice preference is Barcelona, but it says PSG are considered as one of the favourites. Manchester City have also been in there for him. They're looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany, as you all know, because obviously he left Manchester City after serving 11 years with them. But I don't see Matthijs de Ligt going to Manchester City. But I can't also see him coming to Manchester United, even though there was a lot of positive news coming out about the other week. There was a lot of credibility in the story and all that. And he looked likely the other week that he was set to join Manchester United, because I think he was keen on making the move to Manchester United. Reflecting on the contract we offered him and all that, he did believe from his own perspective that the contract we offered him was a contract that was basically too good to turn down. But recent reports have said we are set to miss out on him. So Matthijs de Ligt and Nicolas Pepe could end up making the move to Liverpool. But like I said with Pepe, he was the revelation for Lille last season, scoring 22 goals, providing, can create chances, and that's the type of player, you know, that Manchester United, of course, do need. But we do know we have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years. We have been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years, as I was saying. You know, we have been mismanaged in the last 5 or 6 years, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. Obviously, we've obviously got our first signing for this summer in Daniel James, which is very, very good news. And obviously, it's our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to build on that and bring 4 or 5 more players in. But he wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. But like I said, with £200 million, that should be enough to get 5 players on the board, you know, depending on how we are with our recruitment this summer. You know, are we going to be sensible with our recruitment? And some people have said, you know, we should be sensible with our recruitment because there's a lot of players on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure. But like I said, people have said if we, you know, get the right players to Manchester United this summer, they do believe we can challenge for the title or maybe even win the league next season. But it's definitely not going to happen because I think we're a number of years off from mounting any kind of title challenge up. Obviously, at the moment, City is strides ahead of us. You know, Liverpool strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative, you know, that we catch up with the likes of City and Liverpool. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on bringing players to Manchester United who he thinks are going to be good enough to represent Manchester United, who he thinks are going to be good enough to elevate this club forward. And he obviously wants to bring players in who he thinks are going to fit the culture and the history of the club. But he's also working on keeping his imperative players in the club. I think another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players contracts run down. Obviously, you know, that's been another issue. But I'd probably say 3 or 4 players are going to leave Manchester United this summer. Obviously, all the players that we do want to leave, we're not going to be able to address this problem in one current window. But as I did say to you, I think we have got a release list of around 14 players, of course, obviously including that list are obviously Antonio Valencia and Ander Herrera, because obviously, you know, they are leaving the club. But like I said, another issue, as you know, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. But like I said, a lot of money has been invested at Manchester United, you know, since Ferguson retired. You know, we've had different managers with different philosophies. We know we've seen players come in and we've seen players go. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. And of course, he wants to buy into our history. But you can see the deficiencies in the squad and you can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking. And I think we need a striker as well. You definitely need a striker because obviously looking at last season, we wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal, you know, we wasn't scoring enough goals, we wasn't creative enough in the attacking third of the pitch, so we do need someone that can score goals, because like I said, Rashford and Martial at the moment have not got to that level where they want to be, and it's going to take them a couple of years to graduate to that level, and they're not reliable enough yet to get us them goals that we do currently need. But like I said, we are getting it's £200 million spending spree, but obviously it's going to mount up to a lot more than that if we're cashing for Pogba, if we're cashing for Lukaku, if we're cashing for De Gea. It's looking very imminent De Gea is going to be going. I'm not too sure about Pogba and Lukaku at the moment, because based on the huge transfer fees that we have put on them, there's a possibility chance that Pogba and Lukaku could remain at the football club. But obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player that Paul Pogba is. I've obviously, you know, been giving you the latest news of what's been going on there with Paul Pogba. I think Paul Pogba's first choice preference is definitely Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, he's been obviously, he's been relentlessly, you know, linked with a move away from Manchester United as Paul Pogba, and he's been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, a lot of reports have been coming out this week saying that, you know, Juventus are interested in re-signing him. Obviously, you know, Juventus have made initial contact with Manchester United. Juventus not put any formal bidding for him as yet. Juventus, I don't think, you know, would be able to afford Paul Pogba outright. So obviously, you know, Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players, you know, to fund the move for Paul Pogba. And reportedly, one of the players Juventus are willing to offer is Paulo Dybala. But like I said, he's been relentlessly, you know, linked with a move away from Manchester United. Juventus have also been in negotiations with his agent Raiola. But I think at least in the last couple of months, Paul Pogba's agent Raiola has been working on, you know, finding him his new club. But like I said, I think his first choice preference is Real Madrid, and I think Manchester United and Real Madrid have been in negotiations over the sale of Paul Pogba. Reportedly, you know, we want around £150 million. I think, you know, Real Madrid are reluctant, you know, to pay up to £150 million, and I think Real Madrid are not keen on getting Paul Pogba on a straight cash payment. So Real Madrid have orchestrated something out. I think they're willing to offer 1 or maybe 2 of their players as part of the deal to lure Paul Pogba away for Manchester United. But reports were coming out yesterday saying that, you know, Real Madrid were willing to offer Gareth Bale in a transfer offer for Paul Pogba. Like I said, I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. I don't want him as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. Gareth Bale, like I said, he's been inconsistent in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid. You know, he's injury prone. prone. I think he was also injury prone, when he was at Tottenham, Gareth Bale. And don't get me wrong, if you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, I would have took Gareth Bale at Manchester United, but he's too inconsistent now. Like I said, he's injury prone. That's another main factor reason why I don't want him at Manchester United. And plus, he's aging up. He's 29. He's nearly 30 years of age. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane has confirmed he doesn't want Gareth Bale at Real Madrid because he's confirmed that Bale has no future at the club. He's also confirmed that Gareth Bale is no longer in his plans at Real Madrid. I think also Florentino Perez wants to flog him off. So I think from Bale's perspective, he's happy at Real Madrid and he's got no intentions of leaving. And we do know he's been relentlessly, linked with a move to Manchester United since 2013. The rumours have continued to persist since then. But like I said, Bale has got 3 years left on his contract with Madrid. But to be fair to Gareth Bale, his ratio's still very, very good. Even though he is injury prone, he has scored about 102 goals in 231 appearances for Real Madrid. He's been there 6 years. I think he's won about 13 major honours, including 4 Champions Leagues. Obviously, Real Madrid got him for £85 million from Tottenham back in 2013. And discarding Gareth Bale as being part of any swap deal, it's going to be hard for Real Madrid to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages. He's on about £600,000 a week, and obviously, not many teams, would be able to afford him based on his substantial wages and all that. And I don't think Real Madrid would recoup the initial £85 million that they did pay for him anywhere. They maybe would get maybe 50 or 55 million, but they wouldn't recoup the initial £85 million that they did pay for him. So I wouldn't want to see, Bale as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. I don't think Manchester United, would be willing to go along with this because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing everything he can, to try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club. It came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the football club. That's not going to be enough to convince him to stay. But I think a couple of main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in the Champions League, maybe he wants to be winning silverware and all that, and he's not experiencing this at Manchester United. But I still think he's got 3 years left on his contract as Paul Pogba. But Ole Gunnar, the recent reports have said that Paul Pogba's relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is slowly fading. Even though they initially built a great relationship together, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows Pogba really, really well. Because when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer managed the Manchester United reserve team, he watched some of this team at this day and age, grow and develop. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba could end up remaining at the football club. I said, based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on him, a lot of reports were coming out the other week saying that Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done and all that. He said he had agreed a massive pay cut, because obviously, that was another stumbling block of Paul Pogba making his proposed move to Real Madrid, because obviously, Real Madrid were not willing to meet his 13 million a year wage demands. But obviously, nothing's been as finalised yet, because no fee has been initially agreed. But Real Madrid have got a lot of players on their agenda this summer. But obviously, Zinedine Zidane's 2 main priority targets are obviously Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard, and obviously Real Madrid have already got a deal over the line for Eden Hazard. So like I said, maybe Paul Pogba could be open to making the return back to Turin. Don't forget he had 4 good years in Turin with Juventus. He exceeded expectation levels really, really well, and did really, really well, like I said. And he hasn't really replicated this form since he come back to Manchester United. Hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. But Paul Pogba's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's 26, he's in his prime, but maybe he wants to rejuvenate his career. But obviously Paul Pogba was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Back in January there were talks of him going to Barcelona. I think there were also talks about him going back to Juventus. But yeah, he hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. We paid £89 million for him. Obviously, our most expensive sign. Like I said, it's not always about, spending big on players. It's not always about, getting them Galactico players, because it doesn't always guarantee you success. Like I said, you can buy the best players in the world. If they're not playing as a unit and they're not playing as a team, it isn't going to get you, of course, in that commanding position where you do currently want to be. But like I said, if Paul Pogba does leave the club, I think it will be beneficial for us. It'll help us with our rebuilding process. It'll help us with our transition. But like I said, if he leaves, we're going to need a replacement for him, and I think we need 3 new additions in that midfield. If Paul Pogba definitely leaves, we need a replacement for Pogba, need a replacement for Herrera, and I do believe we need a holding midfielder. So, as you all know, as I've been giving you an update on a regular basis about Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Now, obviously, he's one of our priority targets. As you all know, Manchester United have scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon for next week. We have scheduled a meeting with Sporting Lisbon for next week, to get a deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. Initially, I think we want to get a deal finalised this week, but we have scheduled the meeting for next week now. But reports have been coming out saying that Bruno Fernandes' transfer to Manchester United now could be off, obviously, because of Eden Ed Woodward. Reportedly, I think Ed Woodward has got reservations about Manchester United, bringing Bruno Fernandes in. I don't know why, to be quite honest with you, but I think Ed Woodward is hesitant over Manchester United's transfer for Bruno Fernandes, because I think mainly Ed Woodward is concerned about us spending big money on players who he doesn't think are going to step up to the mark with Manchester United. But Bruno Fernandes, would definitely step up to the mark with Manchester United. I do believe he's got all the attributes to come and succeed in the Premier League. I know he hasn't really played to the highest level yet, and he hasn't, he's never ever played in the Premier League, but he's been good in his couple of seasons with Sporting Lisbon, and I do believe he could, he would replicate this form at Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. I think we want to get him in a deal worth around £70 million, or is it £71 million? Because initially this is what Sporting Lisbon are demanding, but it has been mainly Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling out for his services. Recent reports have said that Manchester City have opted out of the race for Bruno Fernandes. Because obviously, he's been on Manchester City's agenda for quite some time, but City have opted out of the race. Initially, it did say City were only willing to offer around £47 million for his services, but it did say City were willing to offer a couple of their players as part of the deal. But now, recent reports do say Tottenham have entered the race. It also says now that Liverpool have entered the race for Bruno Fernandes, and some reports in Portugal are saying that Tottenham now are in the ascendancy of getting a deal over the line for him. I don't think that's true. I think I'm actually, with them stories, it's very, very cynical. I think Manchester United are still emerged as the front runners, because Tottenham have just entered the race for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, Tottenham have got a lot of midfielders on their agenda, because obviously Christian Eriksen's linked to a move to Real Madrid, and if Christian Eriksen goes, obviously Tottenham are going to want a replacement for him. So basically, Tottenham are seeing Bruno Fernandes as an alternative to Giovanni Lo Celso, because obviously Giovanni Lo Celso is Tottenham's main, well, he might not, but I think it is the main priority target, if I'm right, or it is one of the priority targets. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso, from his own perspective, wants to make the move to Tottenham. Obviously, I think Tottenham did put a bid in for him last month of around £53 million, but reportedly this had been turned down because I think Real Betis are demanding more money. Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around £88 million in his contract with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis only got him last summer from PSG. Initially, he was on loan for the majority of the season, but I think back in April, Real Betis had made the deal permanent. So if Real Betis do sell him, PSG do benefit from it, because PSG do get a percentage of any current sale. PSG do get a percentage of any current sale. I think the percentage is around 20%, something like that. But I think Giovanni Lo Celso does want to make the move to Tottenham. Also, Manchester United have been in for him. He's only at 23 years of age. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. I think he scored 16 goals in all competitions last season in the La Liga. But obviously, Tottenham now are turning their attentions more on Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, if they miss out on Giovanni Lo Celso, they'll want to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, Tottenham want to do transfer activity this summer anyway. They haven't done any transfer activity in the last couple of windows. Obviously, Mauricio Pochettino wants back in this summer, as you all currently know, because obviously he's threatened to resign as Tottenham manager if he isn't back this summer. And I think Tottenham's last signing, like I said, was Lucas Moura back in January 2018. Obviously, their record signing is Davinson Sanchez, who they got for Mike back in 2017. So, and it also says Liverpool are in for Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes admitted earlier on this week that he does like Liverpool, and I do believe he would fit Liverpool's system very, very well if he was to go to Liverpool. And obviously, Liverpool, and that could offer him Champions League football. But his initial release clause is around £86 million is Bruno Fernandes, but we're not willing to trigger his release clause. Obviously, he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, when he was younger, with the likes of San Pandora and Udinese and all that. And financially, looking at it from a financial point of view, and from Sporting Lisbon's perspective, they're going to make a huge profit on the player, because I think Sporting Lisbon paid around £8 million for him from San Pandora. He's under contract with Sporting Lisbon. He's under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. Is Bruno Fernandes. But I do really, really like him indeed, and hopefully we can still get a deal over the line for the player. He's primarily an attacking midfielder, so he would be, he'd make a massive impact in our midfield, and he would improve us in that midfield. He'd bring them goals, and that we do currently need. And he would actually, be the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba if Paul Pogba does leave Manchester United. So quite a few teams are in there now for Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, as I've been giving you an update on a regular basis about James Maddison from Leicester, I think now reportedly James Maddison now wants to remain loyal with Leicester. He wants wants to stay with Leicester, even though he's been subjected to quite a bit of transfer speculation. Manchester United have been in there for James Maddison. Like I said, I think the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City have been in there for him. They've been linked to him a number of years. I think they've been tracking him, since he was a teenager at Coventry. Obviously, James Maddison, very, very good player. Primarily, I think, an attacking midfielder. Only 22 years of age. He's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British players this summer. So I like James Maddison a lot. He's obviously Premier League proven. He's got a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League last season. Was involved in 14 goals. Also created more chances than any other player. I think it did say we have emerged him as a priority target. Manchester United have made contact with James Maddison and his representatives, but obviously no formal bid has been put in as yet. I think he did initially say Leicester want around £60 million for him. I think Manchester United would be happy to pay that. Obviously, if Leicester could get £60 million for him, obviously they'd gain a £40 million profit. Leicester paid £20 million for him from Norwich last summer. So there has been a lot of talks about James Maddison going on. So obviously, you could see him as a replacement for Paul Pogba. Youri Tielemans from Leicester, been a lot of talks about him going on in the last couple of days. And I think, he's also on our agenda. And obviously, I think if Paul Pogba is to leave, I think he's a potential Manchester United target is Youri Tielemans. Obviously, Tottenham have also been in there for him. Obviously, Manchester United are in there for him. I think previously Arsenal have been linked with Youri Tielemans. But I think Youri Tielemans was pivotal in Leicester's transformation under Brendan Rodgers. So I think Leicester want to get Youri Tielemans on a permanent deal. Obviously, he's had about 5 months or so of experience under his belt in the Premier League, and he has done really, really well as Youri Tielemans. So I would love him to come to Manchester United because I really, really like him. Only 22 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Initially, I think from his own perspective, he's aware of the speculation, but I think he's expected to make the return to Monaco, but maybe Monaco are open to selling him. I think he's available for a reasonable figure as well. I think Monaco rate him at around £40 million. He's under contract with Monaco until 2022. So there has been a lot of talks about Youri Tielemans also, going on. I think we also need a centre defensive midfielder. Without a shadow of a doubt, we need a centre defensive midfielder. Obviously, we need... Because obviously, Fellaini left back in January. Obviously, Matic is too inconsistent, too slow. I've got strong reservations about him, plus he's aging up. And obviously, Scott McTominay where is too inexperienced at the moment. He has been quite a few holding midfielders on our agenda. I like Declan Rice a lot. I really would love Manchester United to get Declan Rice. Obviously, well Premier League proven. Initially, I learned his trade in the Premier League. Declan Rice only 20 years of age, but he's been at West Ham a number of years now. He's been in their senior squad quite a few years, and he has exceeded expectation levels at West Ham really, really well. But I do believe at some point in Declan Rice's career, he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. Maybe he wants to go to a team that can offer him Champions League football, go to a team that can compete and win trophies and all that. And obviously, he isn't going to experience this at West Ham, but he has still got a lot of development in him. He's primarily a centre defensive midfielder. Can play as a centre back, but he's primarily a defensive midfielder. But I'd love him to come to Manchester United because he's skillful. He can break up the play really, really well. And I think he blending our midfield fantastically well. Reports came out saying that he could cost around £50 million, but that is a reasonable figure. He is under contract to West Ham until 2024. I think he signed this new long-term contract back in December of last year. So yeah, a lot of talks about Declan Rice that's been going on. And I also... Thomas Partey, he's been mentioned, but to be quite honest, I can't say I like Thomas Partey because I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, I think it came out, was it earlier this week or was it last week, saying that he wants to make the move to England. Obviously, I think this was stemming from his dad. I think his dad said he wants to make the move to England, but 25 years of age, has still got a lot of years ahead of him as Thomas Partey. I think he has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. I think he's available for reasonable figure. Like I said, I think his initial release clause is around £43 million in his contract with Atletico Madrid. Manchester United and Arsenal have inquired about his services. So do you think he would be the right solution for Manchester United? So there's so many midfielders on our agenda, of course. Obviously, Adrian Rabiot's I think he's still on our agenda, to be quite honest with you. But I think the beneficial thing is about Adrian Rabiot, obviously, no team has to pay any transfer fee for him because he's a free agent this summer. He's coming to an end of his contract, but it's imminent that he's going to be leaving PSG, Adrien Rabiot, but it remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. I think a lot of reports came out, was it last week, if I can remember rightly, a lot of reports from a lot of Spanish outlets, were saying, including Mundo Deportivo, saying that, we offered him a lucrative contract, worth up to around £170,000 a week. He did also say a signing on fee is included of around, £10 million a year, so obviously that equates to around £170,000 a week. But yeah, quite a few teams have been in there. I think Manchester United have made initial contact. Also, it says Arsenal have made initial contact, because actually when Unai Emery was PSG's manager, Adrien Rabiot, flourished under Unai Emery's guidance. I think also Liverpool have been interested. I think reports came out last week saying that he's from Adrien Rabiot's preference. He wants to make the move to Liverpool. I think it says that Arsenal have Everton have been in talks of getting him on a free transfer. I don't think he'd want to go to Everton though, because obviously from his own perspective, he wouldn't want to go to Everton, because obviously Everton haven't got European football and all that. I think Tottenham have been in there for him, Juventus have been in there for him, so many teams have inquired about his services. So Adrien Rabiot hasn't played for PSG since December of last year. Obviously, he had been withdrawn from the squad by Thomas Tuchel, based on his refusal to sign a new contract and all that. So he got withdrawn from the PSG squad last year, of course. So I think he's going to be leaving PSG. Like I did basically say, he's spent the majority of his career with PSG. I think he's been there about 8 years, so he has been a long-serving player. Initially had a spell with Manchester City when he was younger, so he's had experience playing in Manchester. He's 24 years of age. I think he's primarily a central midfielder, but I think he can play in various positions in that midfield, but primarily a central midfielder. I think people have got reservations about his attitude, because his attitude is supposed to be, not very, very good. But yeah, Manchester United have been in there for Adrien Rabiot. Obviously, Joe Felix from Benfica. Obviously, Manchester United and Manchester City are battling it out for him. Obviously, Joe Felix is only 19 years of age, and I do believe Joe Felix can emulate into one of the best players in the world. Without a shadow of a doubt, he can emulate into one of the best players in the world. Maybe not emulating to Ronaldo, or a Messi or a Neymar and all that, but I do believe he can emulate into one of the best. Like I said, he's got a lot of years ahead of him as Joe Felix. I think Benfica have blatantly made it clear that his £105 million buyout clause has to be triggered if they're willing to sell him. I think from Joe Felix's perspective, he still remains unsure about his future at the moment. But like I said, he can primarily play as an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a winner, and he can also play as a striker and a secondary striker. So very, very versatile indeed. But at some point in Joe Felix's career, if he doesn't leave this summer, he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level, of course. And obviously, last season was only his first season in the senior squad with Benfica, and I don't think he's made his senior debut with Portugal. So Man United and Manchester City are battling out for him. I think obviously, Man United have been scouting Joe Felix since the January transfer window. I think Liverpool inquired about his services in January. So many midfielders, of course, on our agenda. But like I updated you earlier on my previous video about Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace, reports have been coming out today that I have been reading up, saying that Manchester United have put a substantial bid in for Wan-Bissaka. This was obviously coming from Sky Sports. I did read it up in Sky Sports, to be quite honest with you. He is one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. Obviously, he's British as well. Like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent this summer. And we obviously we need a right back, and I think Wan-Bissaka for Manchester United definitely would be the right solution. I think it has been revealed how much we've put in for him. I think we've put a £40 million bid in for him, but this offer has been rejected by Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace said they want around £68 million for Wan-Bissaka. Whether Manchester United would be willing to pay this or not, I do not know. But I think also Tottenham have inquired about his services. I think also Manchester City have been in there for Wan-Bissaka. I think it came out the other week saying that we'd submitted a bid of around £25 million for him. Obviously, this figure's going to be nowhere near enough to convince Crystal Palace to sell Wan-Bissaka, but we definitely need a right back without a shadow of a doubt. We need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, because Valencia served 10 years at Manchester United. Obviously, I think it remains uncertain where his next destination is going to be. There has been talks about him going to the MLS and all that. I don't know though, but I know he's leaving Man United. We need an upgrade to Ashley Young, because Ashley Young has no longer got the abilities to fulfill that right back position. And obviously, I think Ashley Young is going to be given the captaincy for next season and all that, and it was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving him that new 1 year extension. He shouldn't even be at the club now. He's past his sell-by date. He's too inconsistent. He's one of the problematic players, but obviously he's going to be here next season, so we definitely need an upgrade to him. We need a cover-up for Diego Dalot. Obviously, we got him from Porto last summer. I think we paid around £19 million for Diego Dalot last summer. Obviously, he's the upcoming future. So, yeah, we definitely need a cover up for him. And I do believe Wan-Bissaka, would be the right solution. He's proven in the Premier League. He's got immense talent as Wan-Bissaka, like I said. And, and I really, really like him. He's regarded as one of the best right-backs in the Premier League. He's only been in Crystal Palace's senior squad about, 15, 16 months now, because obviously he only broke into Crystal Palace's senior squad back in February of last year. He broke into Crystal Palace's senior squad, and obviously last season became a first team regular for Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace know how much of an essential player he is. But I do believe Wan-Bissaka at some point in his career is going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. So far he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace, but I do really, really like him a lot. Only very, very young, 21 years of age, but he's obviously one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. So we have put a substantial bid in for him. We've had a £40 million bid turned down. Crystal Palace said they want around £60 million, but initially Crystal Palace don't want to lose him because they know how much of an essential player that Wan-Bissaka is. And that's mainly everything to update you with. And obviously, we do know that I've already given you the latest news about Juan Mata, haven't I? Obviously, I think now reportedly Manchester United have offered him a new contract. It remains uncertain whether Juan Mata is willing to he's willing to accept this contract offer or not. It was looking very likely that Juan Mata was going to be leaving Manchester United, but there has been a bit of change of scenery now because we have offered him a new contract. Obviously, Juan Mata has only got about 3 weeks left on his existing deal with Manchester United. Obviously, we do know Newcastle have been in for him. Also, Barcelona have been in talks of getting him on a free transfer this summer. But I don't know, to be quite honest. I don't think it's going to be a long-term contract. I don't think it's a long-term contract we've offered him because obviously he's 31 years of age. He's aging up. He has lost that yard of pace. But like I said, I love Juan Mata to spend at least another season with Manchester United because I think he's been very consistent for us. He has been a great servant to the club. He has been here 5 years now as Juan Mata. He's made 218 appearances, scored 45 goals, is it in all competitions, but he's been a great servant in the Premier League. Obviously, he had 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea when he was younger, so maybe, is he keen on reuniting with Rafa Benitez? Obviously, Rafa Benitez is the Newcastle manager, and he wants, Juan Mata at Newcastle. Whether Juan Mata would be willing to go to Newcastle or not, I do not know. I think from his own perspective, if he does leave Manchester United, he'll probably want to make the return back to Spain, because obviously, he's Spanish himself, he grew up in Spain and all that, and obviously, he began his career around Madrid. He had 4 years with Valencia under Unai Emery, when he was younger. So I don't know, to be quite honest. So it'd be good if he accepts this contract offer from Manchester United. But like I said, there is a possibility chance now that Juan Mata could stay at the club. Like I said, we have got a release list of 14 players, but obviously, Juan Mata was not included on that release list. Obviously, as I've been updating you as well about Romelu Lukaku and all that. Obviously, he's been heavily linked with a move to Inter Milan. I think Lukaku could possibly remain at the football club now. Based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on Lukaku. Based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on Romelu Lukaku, because reportedly we want around £80 million from him. Obviously, it came out about this last week. So basically, we're looking to recruit the majority of the money that we paid for him from Everton back in 2017, because we got him for around £75 million. Obviously, there were several add-ons included in the deal of around £15 million, which initially risen it to £90 million. Obviously, he has still got 3 years left on his contract, and I think Lukaku is on about £258,000 a week. But Lukaku is surplus to requirements at Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told him his surplus to requirements at Manchester United, and obviously I think it came out last week saying that Manchester United told Romelu Lukaku that he can't leave. Antonio Conte got appointed Inter Milan's new manager last week. Obviously, he's identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target, but I think Inter Milan are reluctant, to pay up to £80 million for his services. But it did say everything else has initially been agreed. It did say Inter Milan have agreed the personal terms with Lukaku. It also says Inter Milan have agreed a 5-year deal with Romelu Lukaku. And it did say Inter Milan are willing to meet his current wage demands and all that. It even did say Lukaku was willing to take a pay cut to make the move to Inter Milan. But it did come out quite a few weeks back saying that Lukaku was in Italy. It did say he'd held negotiations over Inter Milan's representatives over getting a deal finalised. But obviously, they haven't come to an agreement on an initial fee. It also said Inter Milan do need to raise around £40 million before the end of this month, to meet financial fair play. They need to raise raise £40 million by the end of this month, to meet financial fair play regulations. Obviously, if they don't do this, this could be, the stumbling block of Lukaku making his move to Inter Milan. But like I said, we've got to get rid of him anyway. He's one of the problematic players at Manchester United, as you all know. I've got strong reservations about him. I credit him though. His pedigree's still very good in the Premier League. His ratio's very, very good. He's scored a hell of a lot of goals in the Premier League. He's been at Manchester United 2 seasons. Obviously, he scored 42 goals in 2 seasons with us in about 96 appearances. But obviously, we can't keep him at Manchester United because obviously, he's not going to be short. He's no longer short first team football because we know mainly Rashford, his first choice ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and Lukaku enjoyed a difficult second season with Manchester United. So reportedly, Inter Milan are willing to offer Icardi as part of the deal, but we're not keen on Mario Icardi. And obviously, it came out the other week saying that Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million plus Ivan Perisic. But obviously, we do know Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. So there's a possibility, chance that Lukaku, could remain at the football club. And as I updated you earlier on about Marcus Rashford, as you all know, I don't think Manchester United are orchestrating on selling Marcus Rashford. Now, there has been reports that are coming out, though, saying that, Barcelona would like to sign, Marcus Rashford if they can't sign, Griezmann or Neymar. So basically, Barcelona are seeing Marcus Rashford as an alternative to, Griezmann or Neymar. So if they can't sign any of them, they will turn their attentions on Marcus Rashford. But like I just said, I don't think Manchester United are intending on selling Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Rashford's only got 1 year left on his contract with Manchester United. I think we have been in talks of getting him a new contract. Hopefully, we can come to an agreement to get him a new contract. But I still believe Rashford is a long-term solution for Manchester United, even though he has been inconsistent in the last couple of months. But, he sustained, quite a few injuries last season. That had a bad effect on his game and all that. Like I said, Rashford has not graduated to that level yet, and it's going to take him a couple of years, to get to that level where he does currently want to be. But he has been in United player since the age of 7, where the age of 8 as Rashford. Obviously progressing up the ranks with us fantastically well, being in the senior squad with us since 2016. But Barcelona obviously would plan to put Marcus Rashford alongside Lionel Messi in their squad. Obviously if they can't get Griezmann or Neymar, whether Rashford would be willing to leave Manchester United or not, I do not know. I don't think he would, because I think he loves Manchester United as Rashford is Manchester born and bred. So I think it's very, very essential that we do keep Marcus Rashford at the club, because I still believe he's a long-term solution. He's only 21 years of age. Obviously, with the Griezmann thing, there has been talks, saying that, was it last week or whenever it was, Manchester United have made initial contact with Griezmann over the potential move to Old Trafford. I don't see Griezmann coming to Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Obviously, he's obviously, going to be leaving Atletico Madrid, is Griezmann. Obviously, he made this admission a couple of weeks ago, but Atletico Madrid have confirmed they don't know where Griezmann's going to be going. It looked like a couple of weeks ago he was destined to make the move to Barcelona, but now Barcelona have got second thoughts on getting Griezmann, and they are stalling on their move for Antoine Griezmann at Barcelona. So it's looking likely, according to recent reports, Griezmann won't be making the move to Barcelona. Obviously, Atletico Madrid said he has been a great servant, to Atletico Madrid, because he's obviously spent 5 years there. Obviously said they've got a good relationship and all that. And Atletico Madrid, do wish him the best for the future. Atletico Madrid have said that Barcelona have not made any initial contact whatsoever over the potential move for Griezmann. They've also said that Barcelona have not made any formal offer for Antoine Griezmann, so I don't think Barcelona are interested now. Obviously, Griezmann was on the verge of joining Barcelona last summer, but obviously he went and signed a new long-term contract with Atletico Madrid, so he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023 is Griezmann. Obviously, he has spent the entirety of his career in Spain so far. He's been at Atletico Madrid for 5 years. He scored 133 goals in 257 appearances. Obviously, before he was at Atletico Madrid, he was at Real Sociedad. But yeah, it does say that Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, Griezmann's release clause is £170 million at the moment, but obviously at the beginning of next month, his release clause, does reduce to around 104 or 105 million pounds. And Griezmann's 28 years of age, and don't get me wrong, he's still got quite a lot of development in him. But I wouldn't be keen on us, spending over £100 million in, because I don't think he's the fundamental player as he was a couple of years ago, Antoine Griezmann. But like I said, I wouldn't be keen on Manchester United bringing him in. I don't think he'll come at Manchester United anyway. I know he was on the verge of joining Manchester United a couple of years ago, but due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, his move to Manchester United, of course, never materialised. So yeah, obviously, I think Barcelona are not going to get Griezmann. because I don't think they're interested in Antoine Griezmann. Obviously, Barcelona have spent big in recent years, especially, they got Philippe Coutinho for 142 million, they spent over £100 million on the Ousmane Dembele, so potentially if they were to get Griezmann, it would be like their third £100 million plus signing, like, 2 or 3 years, like I said, so I think they've got now reservations about bringing Antoine Griezmann in, so could Griezmann, be possibly, making the move to Manchester United? I think the only major honour that Griezmann's won is, obviously, the Europa League, and I think that was last season, with Atletico Madrid, but he's definitely going to be leaving, but it remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. We've obviously as well got to get a director of footballing before the start of next season. That is very, very essential indeed. Obviously, that's a structural change that we do need at the club, is getting a director of footballing. There has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but it would be ideal to recommend someone who knows about the club, someone who, of course, has got the experience. So that's very, very essential indeed. So the main part of this video, was to give you the latest news about, Nicolas, Pepe and Matthijs de Ligt and all the rest of the other football news that's going on in the media and all that. So I think now Matthijs de Ligt and Nicolas Pepe could be set to snub transfers to Manchester United, and they could both make the move to Liverpool. And how disappointing would that be for Manchester United, of course. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.